You're probably
red like Frank's Red Hot.
so you like your broth that tastes like heartburn.
Oh, dude! Honestly, like when you're hungover though, that's like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, you're right.
Pho is like amazing, dude. But I don't know. Back to the podcast a little earlier. That thing slayed, dude.
100%.
We had Commander Donald Springer.
So I mean, you even said it in the podcast, like, "Oh, why are you talking much?" And it's like, I want to hear these guys' stories. They seem like interesting people.
It wasn't that we were. I was commending you on not talking too much.
Oh, I didn't. I thought like
No. That was like a hey man, you didn't talk much. Like good for you, because like when guests are on, you're supposed to ears open, mouth closed.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like right now, like especially since the start of the podcast, I just been verbal diarrhea. But I just like when it's like all right, I'm gonna talk to the weird people that might watch us. Who's
the weird people?
Like the people that are like spirituality and energies and shit like that.
Like hippie stuff?
Yeah, a little bit like hippie stuff.
Okay, hippie stuff.
So
I'll bite.
So hippie stuff. Like they brought energy that I just wasn't used to, and because of that,
their presence and their demeanor and like their word choice and
no, not even that. Like I've been around that most of my life, so it's like, but it means that they have a story to tell, and I wanted them to tell it. I mean, obviously, like it's insensitive to be like, oh, tell me about blah blah blah, and it's like, no, to be honest, whatever you say is just automatically be interesting to me.
You never ask a vet about their times. You let them tell you about your time.
Yeah,
times,
I just want in general just their perspective, because like think about it, dude. Like and I said it on air when they were on earlier. Like we grew up in a country that like everything was just given to us, like in a way. We could have like opened up our eyes for the first time and like been born in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka's fucking economy is imploding on itself right now. Like I don't think I'd want to be there. You know what I mean? Like we're here.
Okay, so what's our economy?
Huh?
Is our economy not imploding on itself, or?
Like, I mean, it is, but it's imploding.
I was gonna say, like, you're talking about Sri Lanka, but
well, no, Sri Lanka. They say they're gonna have the most amount of like starving people within the next 2 months. Us, we're not gonna be starving for at least another like 6 to maybe 12 months. So we're lucky because of that.
Like, yes. We are lucky, I guess, but we'll see where it goes. We might not be so lucky. Hey, all I'm going to say is whoever designed this year's fucking July 4th can.
It was on point.
It says freedom, let it ring on there. Like, and wait, hold on. I gotta
flip it. Yeah. So
freedom, let it ring. And then there's a fucking eagle on the side. And, yeah, just like, exactly. Like, there's nothing like, I feel like 4th of July, like a flag on 4th of July is like word, but when somebody got like my boy Nate, I went to his houseboarding party, the guy from New England Adventures, and he's got, he had fucking like 20 statues of eagles around the yard, and every time I walked by one in my head, I was just like, like fucking.
So I didn't know this, and I know like obviously like it's kind of an America thing, but it's also like going back to our ties to England. Like it's a thing where you're so like they're quote unquote states, which is like their counties. They're all named after Burns.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm not going to say it again. All right, we don't have any ties to England. You want to know why? Because they like funny hats and corgis, and we don't like that.
I'm pretty sure corgis are Japanese and funny hats are more like Mexican thing.
No, the funny hats are the fuzzy black hats that they wear outside with the chin straps and everything.
Oh no, that's guard. Like no, that's just that's like the people that like guard the Queen's Palace. The Queen's Palace. That's
funny hats. And then what kind of dogs does the Queen have? Corgis.
Yeah, but corgis are traditionally Japanese.
I'm going to tell you this right now.
Am I thinking Shiba Inu?
If their reptilian queen has that. You seen the one where that scares the kid, by the way? The video of the queen when she walks in. And it terrifies the little boy, and he's like, get the fuck away from me. You ever seen that?
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, her eyes are crazy.
Actually, isn't I thought that the English dog was the bulldog.
Not the Queen's dog. The Queen.
The Queen.
The Queen
the Queen
has corgis.
Oh yeah,
she loves corgis.
Yeah, well, I mean, corgis are kind of like
they're cute and cuddly, but
you said it first, so I can say now.
Their association with Britain though makes me not like them so much.
Now, but yeah, corgis.
Those fuckers came on our soil once. They ain't doing it again.
Yeah, but they're our biggest allies, like through everything. It's like, oh, America's getting into some shit again. I guess we gotta back them up.
I'm just fuck yeah, they do. Fuck yeah, they do. You guys cross that line.
True.
You know, like shit.
But yeah, it was fun. Like my whole thing is like I can only see things from the way I see things. So having other people, I can see their perspective.
Civilian perspective.
Exactly. Seeing like. I know my dad's perspective because he talked about it most of my childhood.
Right, but your dad's is still not theirs.
Exactly.
Especially, like, Don.
Yeah.
Don saw a different thing. Like, I can't even, like, fathom the Wild West shit that, like, took place back. Even, like, politically, like, like now we have the internet and we can figure out shit on our own. We can connect the dots. But imagine way back when was the newspaper or the 7 o'clock news. And you went over there, and there was no rules. There was no cameras anywhere. You know what I mean?
And that's the whole fucked up part about the Vietnam War is technically we won. It's just the fact that the atrocities that a handful of people did made the mainstream news, and because of that, they ran with it. So like we liberated a lot of Vietnam. They're no longer communists, and because of the acts of a handful of like Americans that like. Did like I'm saying atrocities because like you can use your imagination. There's certain things we can't see on YouTube. Because of that, they made frontline news, and because of that, we lost the war. When in actuality, technically, we won the war.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like anybody would say, like just because the casualties was an L.
No, I'm not talking about casualties. When I say atrocities, I'm talking about like war crimes that like.
Right. No, I get that, but like I'm just saying, like no matter what, numerically, that's all that matters. Like it was an L. You know what I mean? Like straight up. Like if you're keeping score, we're known to lose that. Like, I mean, like nobody thinks we won that. You know, like you're saying possibly.
No, not even possibly. Like the point of going into Vietnam.
We need a fact checker because I can't believe just because I've seen We Were Soldiers. Mm-hmm. And like just the numbers in there, I was like, "Holy shit!"
I'm not talking about numbers in general. So like we completed the mission. Yes, we lost. Casualty wise, if you want to do it based on numbers, I guess we lost in that aspect. But the whole point of Vietnam is to liberate them from communism. I mean, there's more to the story, like that I don't know 100% about.
Right.
But like we liberated them from communism. We freed a whole bunch of people, but because of the atrocities of a handful of Americans, that's the only thing that made like mainstream news back in the day. And because of that, it's like okay, they lost, and on top of that, they lost, and a bunch of Americans died because of a war that we shouldn't have gone into. And it's like you can say that in general until you're blue in the face, but there's like we go to war for many reasons. But just like to kill a bunch of people or not be killed by like not have our numbers dwindle as well is not the whole reason why we go to war. And in fact, if you score war based just solely on that you don't understand why these things happen and why governments decide to do these things in general. Like a good example is. And I guess it's not that great of an example, but Afghan War, which is the one that we remember, we thought it was because they had weapons of mass destruction, and it was also because of 9/11 in general. But then there's also a whole other plethora of things that aren't technically spoken about is why we went there.
It's crazy to think about, like, war in different perspectives, like him and him.
And that's and to be honest, if that's the only takeaway we had from that episode, which is the only takeaway that I really care about,
yeah,
it was a successful episode.
It was like, and honestly, it's like they come on and tell their you know, like events they have, things that they, you know, their importance. Like I'll always ask vets the same questions. You know what I mean? What bothers you about people, like in like, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know, like, or does your question was just that people's, like, you know, lack of respect for freedom, like, frustrate you? You know what I mean?
It frustrates me because like I told you, my mom came from communist Philippines. You say one thing, the same things that they said about like the past president is the same, is the amount of reason why they would take you in the middle of the night while you're sleeping, drag you from your bed into what you would call Main Street, put a bullet in your head, and the rest of your family would never see you ever again. But those people who say like, oh, all these other countries are better than ours, don't know that nightmare, and then still have the audacity to talk whatever crap they want to talk about, whatever president is against their ideals. That's what kind of frustrates me. And the reason why I asked that question is because of that reason. Because, like, I don't know if I have, like, uncles or aunts that I don't know about because of that reason. I don't know if I have, like, possible cousins that, like, are traumatized because of that reason.
See, I'm insensitive to stuff like that because what you know don't hurt you.
Well, what you don't know,
Excuse me.
True, 100%. But when it's as close to home as like your family,
I know, but like, I don't know. For example, there was my grandfather was always very quiet, right? And he got, as he got older, he was better. He would talk to me more and everything, you know. But he had this brother he never talked about, and I guess he got in an argument, and they told me that like when they got in an argument and when he left, he got in a car accident and he died. That's why nobody talks about him. But really, it was that he went and killed himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
so. You know, like it just like dark days don't have to exist to those who live in the sun. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to like
dwell upon something. That
yeah, like why, dude? Why would people who already lived the trauma like ask you to even know about it? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but I mean, I guess
it's like it's weird. Like to me, like if they wanted to kill Hitler, they would have just like it's fucked up that all that shit happened and everything. But like if they just made him not exist, how would the world be?
Well, true, but I mean, so like, I hate to say,
I'm not saying it'd be better or like whatever. I'm just curious, like how would it impact the world? Like if they didn't know Hitler, there's still Nazis, there's still this, there's still that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like hateful people out there. So it's like him knowing, it's almost like empowering to him and to their cause for existing. You know what I mean?
So I'm not gonna make an argument for Hitler. However,
of course not.
Yeah. However,
it's not what we do here.
However, I will say though that like how do we know what evil is if we don't see it?
The government doesn't tell us about aliens, but tells us about Hitler. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, they're trying to keep alien technologies and, like, other galaxies out of our brains. Like, the element of not needing them. Do you get what I'm saying? But then they'll tell us about this fucking hateful fuck that might have survived and may have made it to Argentina. We don't know.
Is it Argentina or Cuba? I heard it was Cuba, but...
Whatever.
Yeah.
It was just like, he made it out. Like, they found his remains. Like, yeah, sure they did. Do you get what I'm saying? There's remains everywhere. It was fucking World War fucking II, right?
Yeah.
Fucking no. You know what I mean? I don't believe your documentation scientifically back then. Like, what the fuck did they know? This is bad. This is good. That's basically what science was.
I mean, they try to tell people that smoking cigarettes is healthy for you.
Yeah, exactly my point. Like, this is, but back then, it's like, even then you see like the strive for control back then, if they're saying that, like, buy this. These are healthy. Or like the boxes with mercury in them. You remember that?
Yeah, I heard
or radiation boxes.
No,
like, what was it?
No, but you know what grinds my gears? I just learned about the other day.
Oh, you know what really grinds your gears?
You know what really grinds my gears? No, so like literally, so aluminum is recyclable because you can take aluminum and you can melt it down and make more aluminum. But because it wasn't profitable, because like let's say one company owns an aluminum company, right? And they made like let's say TV dinners. And you decided to recycle your TV dinners. That means that recyclable goes back to the company so they can melt it down and remake that same shit to put fucking meatloaf in it and give it. They said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to give you plastic. It's easier to make. But plastic can't be broken down and be recycled. Because of that, we sent it off to China and them motherfuckers put it in the ocean. And then like in the 90s, all they tell us is RECYCLE recycle.
Yeah.
And they weren't recycling shit. They were giving it to China, who was just put it in the fucking ocean because they didn't know what to do with
Like,
it.
here, take care of that.
Because they made it so it's like
here's our garbage.
And so like earlier in the first stream when I was talking about like I like
there it is.
I like these government programs, but I'm not sure if I can like 100% get behind them. It's because they try to sell us recycling, and the only thing that can really be recycled is metals because it can be remelted down and put back.
So you're telling me that plastic never gets made into other plastic bottles?
No, and in fact, I just found this out recently that
it says recycled plastic on it though.
It does, but if you look, there's a number behind it, and it's like plastic number blah blah blah, and if it's like under 5, it can't be recycled.
So they're discriminatory on plastics?
So plastic, I think plastic recycling goes from like 1 to 10 or some shit like that. Like I saw this recently.
That's weird though. Is that how many times it's been recycled?
No. It's the chemical compounds which like can be like turned back into their original states, and then also be made back into plastic again and be redone. Basically, anything that's under 5 cannot be turned back into its original state and then be put back into a consumable. It just is burnt, which is like...
Why don't they make other stuff out of it then?
I mean, see, and so you want to talk about conspiracy theories.
Like for example, like this little box right here, or the outside of a iPad case, or... Oh, fuck. You get him?
Oh, I got him! He's on my hand.
Boy. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a million different applications. This little stand that this is on.
No, so you want to hear... Oh, okay. This is conspiracy theory hour. All right, so you want to hear conspiracy theory? So most, and I hate to say this because this might be a derogatory statement now. Most stoners would like to talk about. How dare you? Exactly right. No, anyways, so most stoners talk about like hemp a lot, right? But hemp is technically one of those things that can be like grown and regrown at an exponential rate compared to like regular like wood and whatever the wood it takes to make paper. And because the paper company back in like the early 1700s
used hemp.
They used to use hemp, but then they're like, oh, but paper came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, we make everything out of wood, and like there's trees everywhere, so it doesn't make sense to
we'll never run out of
so those. They made regulations to make hemp or anything related to hemp, which is now like marijuana, illegal.
No, hemp's hemp and marijuana's marijuana. Let's just be clear.
I get that much, but aren't they like relative in some?
They are, but like I'm just saying, like like by any definition, like one is one. You get CBD from one. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't get fucking the THC or any of those other psychedelic whatever's from. You know what I mean? One. But like obviously, if you grow growing hemp is like that's the way it should be. Mm-hmm. They're making hemp houses now. Hemp houses,
like so. The applications for hemp is and this is what I was getting at. The applications for hemp is hemp houses, hemp paper, hemp clothing, technically hemp plastics, which can be broken down and then recycled properly. And when I found that, like, because like I'm like a hardcore conservative, so like I don't want to say I was like closed-minded. It's just the fact that like you're taught one thing.
You know what I don't get? Why they don't make? You know how they have the whole section in the salad area? Yeah. Like at the grocery store.
Oh, you can eat hemp too.
Yeah. Why isn't there a hemp salad? Like, why can't you get like a salad?
Well, that's the thing, and that's the thing now that the Drug Administration is like looking into is they're finding out that psychedelics can cure certain mental illnesses. Yeah. And now they're putting billions of dollars into using like mushrooms,
stuff they put people in jail for fucking like decades. I mean, I don't know, like.
It's fucked up. It's just, it is what it is.
You gotta understand, it can, like, consider the source, that whole thing. Like, yeah, of course, like, it has properties that could help you. But with all the people who abuse these things, Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, true, but what's the difference between telling someone like, okay, take 2 of these a day at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. and then...
No, absolutely, I get that, but like one is like medicinal is medicinal. If it comes in a syrup or in a fucking pill, it's from a doctor. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, no, but that's my point. Is it's the latter. Has
But people are just safe. Like feel like a doctor is a safe word. They make you get better.
Yeah, and like let's say we take the let's call it like the obscure forms of medicine, and we made them like what everyone calls everyday medicine, and like let's say from day one, take 2 of these a day, call it. Do you think that there'd be all this binge that we'd have now?
Yes.
I don't think so. Only because
I think we are animals, and I think that I've seen things that animals do, and it's like identical, like over to excess. Do you get what I'm saying? Because
I get that too.
Because it's there. It's like when a dog gets food off the counter, they eat it all, even though they're gonna puke after because it's too much fucking food.
Speaking of, did you know that most cats can't have like wheat or what's that other word that like gluten?
Yeah.
Grains and gluten aren't good for like most animals.
That's crazy. Onions are also bad for most animals.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, you can't feed pigs or even like, and you can feed pigs anything, but they say like it's even bad for pigs.
Cause like so like my cat, like I used to give her like pure naturals, which was like grain free.
Yep.
But I only got it because like one ingredient makes it so she doesn't shed as much. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about like, oh, maybe she like might puke with other fucking like dry food.
Yeah.
And now fucking Layla like pukes everywhere because like she can't handle grain.
I mean, whatever.
But it's also
at least
because
it marks on the bag that there's grain in there.
Well, true, but it's also the fact that with supply chains, I can't get her what I usually get her. Like I go to Walmart like once a week.
Just order it online.
I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah, have it like literally subscribe, so you never even have to think about it ever again.
True.
You know, like that's one of those things you always need. You know.
Yeah.
It's like if I could just subscribe to milk, I'd love it.
See, so like I know this is like a little bit like overrated or underrated.
Or eggs subscribed.
So sick. Like, do you remember like back in the day when an Amazon used to have those buttons and you can like push it and like motherfucker would send you like bounty?
Yeah.
They should have that for like everything else. Like I need fucking eggs. I'm gonna push this button.
Oh, it's just a random button.
Like
on the phone, I saw it.
No, not on the phone. Like that would like you can put it in your
and you can put it on the fridge.
In your fridge in your pantry, and you just like I need some Charmin. You just push the button.
Damn, dude, that's sick.
I think they got rid of those.
Yeah, I forgot about that, dude. But like, I used to look at it and be like, "This is so stupid." But now that I'm an adult,
yeah, you get it.
I need paper towels all the fucking time.
I had this Sunday, like I ran out, and it's like, I mean, it was only for like maybe 3 hours, but still, like the amount of stuff you wipe down just because you want to make sure everything's clean.
Yeah.
Those 3 hours, I'm like, fucking can't wait to go to Walmart.
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah.
I know you do slow cooker recipes and you like meal prep and shit.
Well, I don't meal prep as much anymore. The only thing I meal prep is maybe like breakfast. I make egg cups after the fucking.
Oh, after Puerto Rico, you're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're welcome, bud.
Yeah.
You use a fucking muffin tin and you put scrambled eggs with whatever you want.
Dude, you make eggs for a whole week?
Yeah, you can even take croissant like triangles and put them in the bottom. Yeah, you're welcome.
I cut my carbs. It's just the eggs,
welcome.
The protein. Now, what I've been doing is I put in like cut up onions, peppers, Parmesan, fillet. Then I put I sprinkle some bacon bits.
Okay.
And then put a little bit more Parmesan.
Do you use the real bacon bits or the old school ones?
No, I use the ones from Oscar Mayer.
The ones that are like bacon bits.
Yeah, dude, it tastes
They're real
awesome.
Bacon bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they came out with those, I'm fine. I bought them before, though, and they were fucking moldy inside. And I was like, fuck you.
No, it's a fucking grocery stores, dude. Some of the, like, I'll admit, when I used to work for a grocery store, I used to hate rotating.
Yeah.
Rotating means you put the old shit in the front so it gets sold.
Right.
And you put the new shit in the back so that way, by the time it gets sold,
it's the new old shit.
It's the new old shit, and technically, you do this process. You never hit the expiration date.
Yeah.
You hit the expiration date.
Sometimes.
I think the grossest. So like working in grocery for like most of my life, the grossest thing I ever seen was Can I name drop in this thing? Should I name drop in this thing?
I mean, if you want, just be smart about
it. I'm never gonna work for them ever again.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Hannaford and fucking Air.
Oh, you pieces of shit! So you're getting sold out now.
Man. Like, so all right, so Air, right? Air's a nice town. You go in the middle of town. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. But their old ass Hannaford, which is now a Big Lot, so I guess this is not applicable. But their old Hannaford was built in this like circle thing that used to be a circus that like never left.
Yeah.
And like you just go there and you go to circus and shit and see some clowns, see some fucking elephants,
get some fucking peanuts,
get some peanuts. But then someone had the idea like, oh, let's turn this shit into a fucking grocery store, right? So it's the oldest motherfucking Hannaford in Littleton, and they never like kept up with their rotation. I remember doing a remodel there once. And we were picking up some like Gorton's fish, like the frozen shit. It was like a frozen tilapia or something. We were like, oh, what's this blue stuff? It must be some ink off the fuck. No, dude, that thing was sitting there since we did the remodel in 2009 maybe, and that shit said it was there from 1994. So that blue stuff was fucking mold. It grossed me. Like, I've never seen a more vibrant blue in my life. And because of that, it grossed me the fuck out.
Well, I'm glad you made it, Bobby.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was a traumatic experience.
I got through the trenches.
Well, you're here now.
All I'm saying is like... Well, you know me. I'm not a seafood person in general.
I love seafood.
But...
I love any fish, pretty much. And any, like, honestly, I'm just like a glutton for just different foods. Like, I don't even give a fuck anymore.
I get it. Like, so funny story. Like, I hate seafood, but clam chowder. Like, you know how the guy from Barstool, like, one bite, everyone knows the rules. I'm like that with like clam chowder wherever I go. Like, it's like one bite, everyone knows the rules. Like, I gotta try it.
Yeah. Honestly, though, clam chowder is probably my least favorite.
Well, because it's least fishy.
Honestly, I like a seafood chowder with chunks of fish in there and shit.
Because it has seafood.
It has more stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, just because it's little clam strips, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck about this. You know what I mean?
I like it when it's, like, the potato and, like, the...
No, and I get that, but that's,
bacon bits, and it's like... Oh.
Right, and it's okay, but, like, it's just, like, now we're talking about potato and bacon bits. I'd almost prefer it without the fucking...
And that's what I'm saying, is that's why I like it, because it's the least fishy... Like, actually, I made chicken corn chowder the other day. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah? Yeah. That's chicken corn chowder. How can you go wrong? Have you ever seen fucking the show Human Giant before?
Human Giant, no.
Well, there's this episode where this guy, like, is literally force, like, or not force feeding. He's like, he employed this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, there's these two dudes, and, like, they live in an apartment, and one guy gets employed by this other dude who randomly shows up in their apartment, and he like pays one of them to eat corn chowder. And it's literally like the most fucking funny thing I've ever seen in my life. When we were like back when we were kids and we were getting drunk and like all this fucking stupid shit, we used to fucking literally play that. Like whenever like somebody got quiet, we literally just play it to each other, and it would be so funny, dude. Sean,
I still think the funniest thing that you ever sent me was the. Oh, are you the ambassador of Nam Sayed or something?
Oh yeah. It was
Trailer Park Boys.
J-Rock and Trailer Park Boys. What are you fucking? What are you taking a you know what him census?
You said that to me like I remember because it was like that. It was the time when we used to be in like Bob's basement all the time.
Oh yeah, Bobby's basement.
Dude, Bob's basement was
back when it was retro and shitty. Now it's like a fucking Mexican cantina down there.
I remember like the last few days you were there, he started to put down like all the stuff, and he turned like where we used to like fucking chill out as the new bar, and I was just like, one, where's my couch, and two, like he moved the TV.
Yeah,
it's not even my place. It's not even my place, so I can't even say shit.
It was funny though, because back then we were so young, we were like, "What the fuck,
dude?"
Man?
I think one of my best memories is like, so like we had zombies, but for whatever reason, Modern Warfare Ghost had like aliens, and it was like me playing aliens on the fucking 75-inch TV, and I was just like, I'm not sure if I like this game, but I'm gonna play it.
One time, when I was like, I just moved in there. So I was only there for like fucking like 10 months or something like that.
Huh. I felt like you were there for at least like a year and a half.
I don't know. Maybe it was a little longer than that, but like I remember.
So like, I mean, I can say things